the first Fireside chat. Um, we're just basically today going to talk about this whole toxicity thing that has popped up because I know it's been a hot thing on the forums, and I'm like, hey, let's talk about something fun to start with.
Absolutely.
Not many people would show up, so I can say, hey, no, we covered that first. You should have been there. You're tough luck. But yeah, so I mean, this is a big thing recently.
It's not even recently.
Well, yeah, not even really recently. Yeah, I remember it commented about 2016 being a really bad year, and I was like, yep, I remember that year. I totally remember that year. We were ruthlessly evil in chat. I mean, ruthlessly evil.
I'm going to start this off because if we don't mention this right away, it would be bad.
Okay,
I'm going to say that in 2016, you yourself were probably one of the most toxic people in chat.
Yeah, without question.
I mean, you dropped some words that I'm very uncomfortable with. So, and I'm thinking hopefully that going. Yeah, so I really want to deal with that right now.
Okay, all right. Well, let me clarify that because I know that's a lot of people have a big problem with me because of that. And let me put it this way: I am not racist. I have a lot of friends of varying cultural backgrounds, but when somebody wants to start an insult fight with me, I just go from 0 to 100, and I will say the most ruthless, evil shit I can think of just to make you mad. So yeah, that's 100%. That's yeah. I say ruthless, evil shit just to make people mad. It's not that I'll use whatever trigger word I think will make them the most mad, without question. That's exactly how I play video games.
Okay. But yeah, I just want to put it out there. And people were also saying well, Jack, we haven't kicked him, and what do you think about that? And so kind of toxic to even bring it up, trying to get me to make a decision one way or another. Whereas a lot of these things are actually issues that should be discussed actually behind the scenes by the developers, between Washington and the developers. And but I don't think I ever used that kind of language myself. It was definitely a Wash thing.
No.
And it was, and in my own personal opinion, it was completely wrong. And Wash should not have used those words in game. And I gave them lots of static behind the scenes about it.
Yes, you did. But like I said, that's just how I am. I go 100%. It's 0 to 100. There is no, I'm kind of mad, I'm kind of upset, I'll just get a little back ending. No, it's the dragster's at full throttle, and there is no parachute.
But I would say going forward since that time, where I've noticed that Wash has cooled down a bit. And I've hopefully going forward from this whole issue of toxicity being an issue in game, especially since Incarnate brought it up on the forums. I'm hoping that everyone going forward can just stop with any of those words. Those are trigger words that no one should be using.
Oh yeah, no, Rogue, yeah, totally. I'm pretty sure everyone in this chat can vouch for the fact that me right now versus me 2 years ago, it's like night and day. I used to be ruthlessly evil and say some heinous stuff. I mean, heinous stuff, just because that's how I play. So, kind of on that point, because I am the bar by which toxicity obviously is set. But I'm betting that probably, most of us have a different idea of what reaches the toxicity level for them. Because, there's people that will just do, trolling just to get, a rise out of people, real subtle, not mentioning any names. And, some people consider that toxicity, I mean, obviously the outward name calling is pretty pretty evident. I mean, honestly, for me personally, I don't really care. I just laugh at most of it. It doesn't really bother me personally. But let's some of you guys that are in chat, what do you set as the crossing the line into toxicity as far as chat goes? No one. You have to participate for this to be cool, people.
No,
come on.
they could type. You could just edit this stuff.
Yeah,
out.
no. They could type. It's fine. No, I'm not editing anything, dude. I am way too lazy for that. You're lucky I got this all set up in a day.
I would spend like 2 days editing down all the voice stuff and
that's the fun part. That's the fun part. Then we get more people to interact. It's like, yeah, we don't want to listen to the guys talk for an hour. Let's interrupt them and ask questions.
You could set it up as text to speech.
I thought about that, and then I realized no. No. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. We can all agree on that. The name calling is exactly, where I think that the bar should start. That's where you've crossed it and you should be getting a warning. But other people think it's other things. Like, some of us may or may not, hunt through nation space, and when we're bored, just to find something to kill.
Noobing.
Yes. Not intentionally, mostly just to find, traders sneaking through safety of space. But I've seen noobs go off and they're they're like, oh, we're being griefed, this is toxic, blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, no, not really, dude. So everybody has a different level of what they would. I'm just curious if anyone is, below the just calling names line.
New players.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
Well, new players, we know. Okay, there's definitely an etiquette in VO that's, I think, different than the etiquette in other games. There's Tenny. Are you gonna show the text channel in the video as
as
the video?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Understood.
That's what's being recorded. Is that chat channel, so that everybody hears. Those that can't, I'm being all Hollywood producer style, making this cool as I can. Yeah, it is a dick move. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? I usually don't do it unless they get lippy from the get-go. That's usually when you'll see me start griefing somebody, is when they start talking mad crap through the pilot, the first pilot mission to get you to be able to unlock missions, and they're talking mad stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay.
It's not like, of course, someone's running into because that would take a lot of work. In fact, people should probably spend more time in a training sector before getting dumped into the capital sectors. Yeah, like I remember when I first started, oh my God, Lecter would do that to me. Like all over, I could not go anywhere in Veracity without Lecter finding me. And he was KOS everywhere, so I literally could do nothing. He would literally just like, I would undock and he'd be right there in a Greyhound crushing me and laughing as he flew away from the strike force. I don't think I was really griefed too much as a new player, but I do remember my first time flying through gray space on that one of those missions where you bring a blank data pad or something through, and Boda blew me up in practice. Dude,
I remember Savit and YT would sit in address B11, and I started running those missions into gray with the data pads, and every time one of them would be there. And, I was all uppity, like, no, I'm not paying permits. No, it's never going to happen. Morally reprehensible. No, I'm not going to do it. And they would just shoot me and laugh. And I came back one time with coming back and just trying to fight him with one other whatever crap ships I could get at the time. And yeah, they just kept blowing me up and laughing. It was, that's kind of part of the game.
Yeah. VO is a sink or swim kind of situation. If you can handle, the combat and how much you're gonna die in this game, then you survive in this game. If you're gonna go off by dying a few times, even as a new player, that's an issue, and you're probably not going to spend a lot of time in this game.
Yeah, so
and the developers made it this way because ships are cheap. You get right back into the fight, and the sooner pilots realize that, then the sooner it's like you can laugh about dying. I mean, I've had I like to laugh in this game, and I laugh a lot, and I die a lot, and I laugh a lot, and that's good.
Yeah, I mean it's that. So that's I know a lot of new players consider that toxicity, but that's just they don't know. It's like that's part of the game. Yeah, so that one, obviously that's not really. I think we can safely say that is not, toxic. Detrimental to keeping noobs in the game, but by no means. And yeah, so let's go subtle trolling that happens. Oops, hold on a second. Trying to administer this thing and talk is not conducive to my multitasking abilities. Yeah, so yeah, what about the trolling? What do you guys think about the trolling? I mean, there's certain players that will, give me wicked evil taunts that are just like right on the edge that I see make people mad. Yeah, it is totally hard to nail down. We do have some good trollers in this game that can get people going. But I mean, is that my question is, do you guys consider that? Would you call that toxic behavior, or is that just gameplay? All right, Panda says gameplay.
Yep. Of course, Pando's a little bit of a troll himself.
Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, what's going to be the end result of the trolling? Of course, if a troll is actually just trying to get someone to go off in 100, that's an issue. But if the troll is trying to get someone just to, I don't know, tank their standings, whatever.
Yeah. No, see, that's something. Yeah, I've used that on people that I knew it would work on. Oh yeah, totally.
Though I would say that people would say tanking their standings is toxic, but on the other hand,
yeah, I mean the majority of us. That's how we learned the game was, people tricking us into doing stuff that we didn't understand how all the game mechanics work yet.
Actually, there's a mission in the game that's very trolly. It's that one where they tell you to go into opposing space and blow up a few strike force or something. It's actually in there. And I remember the first time I ran that, and I was like, why is my UIT standing kill in sight? Why am I kill in sight of all these guys? And I sent a message to the devs, and they're like, well, you ran this mission. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, like I did that with the Axia mission, the Axia must die thing, where you have to kill like the 5 Axia aligned ships. Yeah. The first time I did that, I totally tanked my Axia standing, and I'm like, what the heck? Somebody had to show me the trick, and I'm like, oh, that is very sneaky, but it works.
So, yeah, but yeah, this But so some of the trolling is actually in game. So getting someone to tank their standings, well, the game brings it on, or you can do it as a player. And sometimes, yeah, it might be a bit of a dick, but it's also a good lesson. A lesson
Oh yeah, totally.
in
Yeah, no,
restraint.
I learned all them faction rules immediately. I'm like, all right, how does this faction thing work? Get on the forums. Okay, I get it. Wow, really, Scotia? Oh yeah, let me read. I'm gonna do change your nickname so everybody knows who you are. Oh, it's like, who the hell is Wash talking to? I don't see anyone with that name. Like that old man has lost it.
Well, that's true. You have lost it, but
okay. Well, yeah, I lost it a long time ago. Fucking music business. Okay, so yeah, so that's interesting. Was it like one guild that was doing it, or was it just like a group of people? Yeah, see, that's the thing is you don't know. That's what's crazy about video games and just being on the internet in general is that you know how people play games versus how they are in real life are two completely different things 90% of the time. I'm sure I'll get hate for this, but I'm sure some of the traders in game literally that's about how exciting their regular life is. There's always that 10% that do the same thing in video games that they do in real life. Whereas the rest of us do like the exact opposite. They're like, oh, this dude cut me off in line today. The chick at Starbucks messed up my venti latte, whatever the hell it is. I'm going to get online and I'm going to blow some shit up in the most evil, heinous way I can think of. And, that's, so they see the game persona and they're like, ooh, that dude's an asshole. No, not so much, really. I mean, if you guys actually saw like how laid back I am and how like Jack will attest to how often I'm laughing at what's going on in game, you'd be like, "There's no way that's the same dude."
that's about right. Yeah, when I see people in 100, we're talking about how jaded Wash is and how annoyed and how sad he must be, and I see that and I'm just laughing and laughing because we're just goofing off in our Discord, and it's the complete opposite. Just I role play as commander of one. I role play this gruff, angry, pissed off nationalist, but I'm like not that. It's just completely a role play. And actually kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying to me because I'm like, I have to be this because if I'm not this, then I can't carry on as a correct one commander.
Yeah, you have no idea how hard is it for me to play my TGFT guy and not my cover. It is so hard. I literally like I have to get so stoned and put on a really good movie so I'm not paying attention to the game and just fly around and trade and kind of half talk once in a while just to keep my cover. It's oh my god. I just don't get how you guys can play that way all the time. But that's just me. Everybody wants something different out of the game. That's why everybody interprets, what they would
Well,
consider. I wanted to get a more of a, what everybody else thought.
well, it's actually a good segue right here into alts because alts have been considered kind of toxic as of late.
Okay,
That
yeah. Let me just say this right now. I'm gonna lay this out plain and simple. The only reason to have alts is because you're too lazy to fly across the galaxy. So you spread them out in certain systems so you don't have to fly as far. That is why you have alts. That is why I have alts. I am too lazy to fly.
That's
Done.
of course one reason. I mean, I like to play different role plays. I have an Itani alt that no one else knows about, and I play it completely alt sept. Completely alt sept. I have a sept. But now saying that, I definitely have spy alts that I create a really in-depth legend for, and I completely spy with. And so the question is that toxic? Is me spying on someone else to get to figure out what people are doing? Is that toxic behavior?
No, that's just how you play the game. That's the James Bond component to this game. We need you to go undercover. Well, Emma, it will be difficult, but I'll waste the government's money. Oh no, you're right, Ezra. Totally, dude. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't trying to watch like 3 screens at once, bro. My bad. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, I'm not the only one. There's I can probably name 5 people that from that time frame that we should have been banned without question. We totally there should have been it should have been instantaneous. You're gone. I totally agree with you on that. And like to be fair, when I first started playing, which is about when that happened, that's what I came into. So I took it as, oh, okay, this is what we do here in this game. Cool, this is awesome. People that can be, totally hateful, evil to each other just because it's, they take it as part of the game. And that's how I took it. I was like, oh, okay, this is this kind of game. And then I said some hateful, heinous, evil shit, and people lost their minds. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what? So it's the game. Depending on when you came into it, may have had that perception. I know it did for me. And like I said, I am not. I took that part of the game and I went 110% with it. I'm not denying that at all. Heinous evil shit I used to say. Um, but so that's I think that's what brought this up is, where why Incarnate brought it up is because I think they were getting a lot of bad reviews and a lot more tickets about it to the point where they couldn't get anything else done, which is probably what prompted this, that forum post he made about making it easier to get this stuff reported and handled. And I totally agree with that because there really is. I mean, when your only option is writing a support ticket, by the time you put all the evidence together to send in, it's like, is it really worth the effort?
Ezra, that's fair, but I mean, some of the toxicity did happen with some of the actions that Wash did in the past, and so it is fair to mention that. But overall, it's one of the subsets because Wash wasn't the only person who was toxic in chat. There was definitely a culture almost of a toxicity.
100% over the line, too far bar for as far as that goes from 2 years ago. So, that's the only reason that I got brought up because I was one of the kingpin offenders, and I don't deny that. Yeah, chat has way toned down in the last 6 months. I've noticed, like way down. I mean, it's down to I see maybe 3 or 4 people a day try and push it over the line. Usually noobs because they don't, they're coming from Fortnite or whatever other heinous game preteens play these days. And I know some heinous stuff gets said in those games too. My daughter's boyfriend plays it, and I'm just like, dude, really? Playing with like 12-year-old kids? I know, but it's fun to shoot them. Okay, but so that's really it has toned down a lot in just the last 6 months. Yeah, we got to get way more people in voice chat. Just me waiting for people
Yeah.
to talk. I'm just like, I don't have the patience for this. I need a smart ass comment now. Da, 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 da.
People just have to type faster, darn it.
Yeah, you should have it, Skosh. You should have both. Ugh. Yeah, this is also an experiment, so we're going to find out. It's like bar rescue. This is the okay. Let's see what they actually can do and what they can't do. Test. So, and hopefully the next ones will be better.
So my Discord is frozen up. I'm surprised I'm still in chat right now. So actually, I know what I'll do. I'll look at the text on my phone.
There you go.
Multitask.
Multi-device multitasking. Okay, so all right, so I guess we're all pretty much in agreement where that the line is at, calling people names or cursing them out for blowing you up. That's where we consider that anybody's crossed the line. Yeah, exactly. Chat wars, exactly. I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, I used to have some knockdown, drag out chat fights with Black, and 9 times out of 10, it was like I was only chatting because I was over on my other computer doing work. So I'd be like working on something, and I'd flip back over and say something else heinous, and go back and like not even be watching it.
Now, can you actually be mean but be completely role played? And so where exactly is that line going to be crossed if you're role playing? Like where is the permission? Does it actually stretch farther? Can you actually be more toxic? But if you can you actually say that
Yeah,
it's role
see, now
play?
that's here. Okay, Ezra brought up a good point. The you don't even have to redact it. That's totally me. I said that yesterday because it was like Blasey and I were messing with each other, and so I guess sometimes you get there's some players in game that you can mess with more than you can others. And Blasey's one of them guys. Like we trade stuff back and forth, and it's I'm assuming he's cool with it because he keeps doing it, and I keep doing it, and I just find it hilarious because he's a funny dude. But yeah, no, I totally said that to him. Now, that's a good question. Ezra. Would you guys consider that as something that's toxic? Yeah, no, that's what we're trying to do, Ezra. That's kind of where we're at. We're trying to find out where everybody else's boundaries are at because we kind of know the universal boundary is the name calling. So I want to find out if other people have like a lower boundary or like I have a way higher boundary because it's a game and I just laugh. See if there is a lower bar that other people subscribe to, so that we're aware of it at least. There's you have to draw a line with the role play. I honestly with antibody stuff, he's like super consistent. I haven't ever him actually, other than calling somebody a germ after killing them. That's really the worst thing I've ever seen him do. But you know, um, that's yeah. He's like right like That's what role playing should be. Like that character is consistent and on point every time, doesn't really deviate. So he's got great role play. But no, I don't consider his is exactly what the game should be. That should be the standard. Like, this is how far you can go. When you go past this, you've hit the limit. Yes, it is. Okay, so I guess all right. So we kind of know where that line's at. So let's. What are your guys' thoughts on how offenders should be handled when this thing goes into play? I mean, how many chances should somebody get before it's like, okay, you're just a dimwit and you're not going to figure it out. You're done with the game. I mean, how many chances do you think people should be given? I guess is the question. Oh yeah, because let's just copy more stuff from baseball, Rogue. What kind of Canadian are you? You could at least referenced hockey in that. Jeez.
Well, even if you give someone "quote unquote" a chance, there also should be a learning experience, because if they don't learn from it, like what they did wrong, how they can correct their behavior, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta set a limit as I don't think that would work, Pando, because somebody can stumble across it. Even if you make it some ridiculous, it's still somebody's going to come across it eventually, or someone will not realize they're in 100 and keep going on, or that's not a. Is relearning how to speak English via the Matrix format, so it's going to take him 10 minutes to load up the program. Okay, so where do we set the levels at as far as how many chances somebody gets, or what determines? He's getting the good gas. I hope your dentist is really hot, A-Dog, and if she is, give her my number, please. Yeah, so where do we say, okay, you've broken this rule too many times, and you're done with the game? No, you have to leave. If you leave the channel and come back, Ezra, you should have. Oh, you're saying your VoIP is blocked. Oh, are you at work? Actually, that shouldn't be a specific port. That should be because the game makes the connection out to their server, so it's a random port selection to the server to manage traffic. Yeah, see, I think 5 might be a little much. I mean, maybe if there's like scales of offenses, like you got level 1, level 2, level 3, 3 being the worst. Somebody's got like 4 level 3s, but some other dude's got like 1 level 3. Because there are differing offenses. So I don't know. That's kind of what I'm asking. What do you guys think? Now, see, that's the other thing is being able to enforce some of this stuff. That's another good topic we'll segue to here in a minute. Someone don't let me forget, because I'm old and I forget shit.
Okay, Grandpa.
Get off my lawn, you little bastards. Oh. just made this whole thing so worth it. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay. I have to put a harness on freaking Pando next time. Okay, so yeah, offenses. So, we've got 5. Someone said 3. What should be the number when a card just says, you know what, you're not helping this game? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, several people are typing. Wow, I haven't seen that message before.
Sarcasm.
Yay, participation! I know people listening to this are going to be like, good God, these 2 guys are boring as shit. They hardly talk, and they just say dumb shit when they do.
I'm just a sidekick here, so I'm just trying not to say stuff.
Hey, guys.
I got to have more.
Hey, dog. I mean, that's half the reason we do voice chat in one is to listen to A-Dog.
Yeah, we give him random jobs, and he does that job as a DJ. It's quite entertaining. Oh, yeah, bro. That's another good point as well. And then you're not the first girl that's played this game that I've heard that from.
When people thought I was a woman, when I was, I would get tons and tons of messages.
Yeah, and you're not. Yeah, that's totally something that's way not cool. You're right. That's a valid point. There are some people that have imbalances that just make them go off.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's kind of a touchy subject to try and handle because you don't know. There's no. It's like you're going to be playing a game like, oh, I have to send a doctor's note so my game doesn't, ban me for being a dipshit. That's kind of insane to make someone have to do that. So
that's the point I was trying to go for earlier. But it's so hard to moderate this on a administrative bureaucratic level. So it's yeah,
because each person's going to have a different opinion. Even if there's a manual that says, okay, here are the rules. This is what's toxic. There's still going to be room for personal interpretation. That's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, some things should be a hard limit. There should be no interpretation.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. As somebody did that. Actually, matter of fact, somebody did that the other day, and I reported them because I caught them doing it. They got muted on 100, and then they jumped on an alt. And I was like, oh, nope, I know that. I didn't right away. Like, nope. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, I could totally be bypassed via alts.
Well, it's via alts, but it's going to be via actual devices because each account can be muted. So if that person,
it has to be an alt on a completely different account because that whole account will be muted.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can bypass a separate account because if a character gets muted, every character on that account gets muted. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
That's how it works. And if someone bypasses that system, that's when.
Yeah, like I mean, I've seen players get muted for just going off heinously in chat, like, and they come back on an alt that everybody knows it's their alt because they don't know how to keep an alt quiet, and continue to go off in the same fashion. It's just like, really? Are you that stupid? Really?
Definition of insanity.
Well, I keep building capships, but they keep coming out as tridents, so I'm going to give up on my pipe dream of building one and it's magically a pterodon. Okay, so 3 to 5 is what everybody's saying. And should it be like escalating, like, ban times? Like, first one's a warning, the second one you lose a day, third one you lose a week. Should it be escalating like that, or?
Oh, it should escalate harder than that. It shouldn't be like some easy slope. It should definitely be the first one's easy, and then the second one is like a week, a month, something like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the first one should be a warning, and then the second one, you're down for a day.
Yeah, even a day is too little on that second one. You've already had the warning. It should be like, okay, yeah. You've already had the warning because you were educated on the issue. If you didn't learn anything from the education, you get the swift kick up the butt from Incarnate, Ray, whoever, Whistler, Phaserlight, the Hylas.
Oh, yes. Straight to 7 days. So number 2 should be a 7-day porn, play Fortnite, and think about what you did if you want to come back and play a cool game. And then, what do you think? So go to a week and then go to a month on the next one. It's like you need to have a sit down here with your mom and get some therapy before you come back. 30-minute mute when you get one, though. Oh. Yeah. Like the warning comes with a 30-minute mute. Yeah, that's probably a legitimate thing to add. Yeah, I would agree with that. Oh, give them 7 and then 14.
But again, going 7-14, it's like whatever. At that point, if you haven't learned anything from there, I would escalate even longer on that. It's like, teach you anything. But then again,
and the thing I think it was spacing them out, though, go like a week and then a month, and then like a week, a month.
A week, a month, a year, a decade.
Yeah, that's going to. Yeah. One whole cycle of the mating season on Vulcan, for which you will be banned. Somebody's on Wikipedia going, how long is that? 7 years!
Actually, this is when I would like to get some input from a developer, because I know Ink is talked about how he reads all sorts of things on player behavior and stuff like that, and that's stuff that I actually have zero clue on. From a developer point of view and that administrative views.
There's something called I believe it's called bleed over, actually, where basically like people's real lives bleed into their role playing lives, and then it kind of muddy things up, if you will.
Yeah, so Scotia. So the warning comes with a 30-minute mute, and then the next time you get a 7-day ban where you're sitting out the game for a week.
Yeah,
to make you think about what you did. Yeah, it has to be that hardcore. Otherwise, certain people just are not going to learn. It's like spanking your kid versus putting him in timeout. Well, no, and that I don't know what was done, Ezra. I honestly don't, because there are certain people that are unable to tell the truth in this game if their life depended on it. We shall not name names. But
well, we shouldn't even.
The thing is, we also should know. I mean, that's but it is a valid point if, in fact, that was done, and there was no change. Obviously that's where this scaling quickly punishment for this stuff comes into handy, or comes into play. It's like, okay, you sat out a week, you didn't learn your lesson. All right, now you can sit out a month.
The fact that I know what those 4 letters that Scotia Knight just posted in there makes me amused.
Here we go. Links in the chat. Bleed over.
Oh, is it from a Renaissance festival?
Yeah, but I mean, same thing still applies.
Cool. Wait, no, he's carrying a rifle, isn't he? Or is that a big ass sword?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it totally looks like fun. Like, yes, let's film a movie about a post-apocalyptic world because that's never been done before.
I will say that Incarnate has been problem players. I probably wouldn't have the patience for that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was an administrator, I'd have banned myself the 3rd time. I'd have been like, nope, you're an asshole. You're done. I would have totally banned myself.
I think he wants to. I can't speak for him, so I'm just reading in between the lines. I think he wants to see the best in all players and have them, have a fun time and finally learn. How long does it take for someone to learn, and how does it? If it starts having an effect on the player base, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I'm honestly curious as to see what I'm bred and see what they say, and just to see if in fact there was a ton of people saying the game sucked just for that reason, because I'd feel bad. I'd be like, oh shit, that's not cool.
Pando, that player's not banned. Incarnate actually said as much a few days ago on the forums. I think it was the forums. Or actually, it might have been on Discord. I mean, he was talking to somebody else.
Yeah, no, it was in Discord. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, just all his forum accounts, I'm pretty sure is what it was. Yeah. Yeah. That's because it was super subtle, and if you weren't in sector, you never saw it happen, Rob. That's exactly why. I had some heinous fights with him too. In sector chat. Heinous evil fights.
There is panel. Actually, that is there is the ignore button, but is that really fair? It gets to a certain point that it would be kind of cool if the devs are able to track. I'm not sure if they are able to, because that I would be considering. I would love to know if I was more ignored a lot. Ignoring one person as a player, out of game political beliefs and chat 100. But if everyone is ignoring that person, that might be driving people away.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting, idea, and here's where it falls apart. Okay, yeah, if a bunch of people ignored a certain player and it set off a flag, and they're like, okay, we need to review this. Well, the enterprising person could do ignore on how many different alts and trigger the mechanism.
That's true.
So, you gotta, anytime you come up with a solution, you have to think, okay, how can I break this? That's how you rate good stuff that doesn't,
Well, I mean, but it is a really interesting metric just to know. Like I was reading about the game, the television show, Grand Tour, and they were able to figure out that they're not going to do a interview thing with celebrities anymore, because they were able to see how many people were actually skipping through the celebrity segment, and that's like awesome. That's like an instant feedback that they were able to get for their media to figure out that that was not a good part of their television show. So on the same kind of idea that knowing like how many people ignored someone is kind of interesting. Maybe you don't actually act on it, but maybe as a kind of a threshold, it allows you to take a closer look at that person.
Or at least put up a flag and like, hey, you know, you need to mark this person and watch them, or, you know, see what's going on.
Anything to like reduce developer like time wasted, like that would be maybe, you know, something good, because there's only like two of them working on this game. So
yeah, no, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That, you know, after like, you know, 10 ignores or something on a specific player, it just puts a flag in, and next time they sit down at whatever, you know, whatever ticket system they have, someone was being a bad boy. Let's take a look. Nope, he's just stupid. Okay, cool. We don't have to worry about this one, you know, that kind of thing. But again, you can, you know, that's
everything
tricked and triggered. I mean,
I mean, anything can be gamed in a game. Metagaming.
Yeah. Scotia brings up a good point. I'm curious what the metric is of how many people that do leave one. That's what I want. That's the metric I want to see, because I'm really curious. That would be the one that I would be curious about, is how many people leave 100. You know, on a monthly basis. You know, like different people.
Oh, hold on. I'll mute my train horn.
No, you're fine. It's cool. It adds ambiance, bro.
I live in the old
As long as
West.
it doesn't sound like it's in your living room, we're cool. Oh, just leave 100, Ezra? Is that what you're saying they do? Yeah, see, now I like ignore just because then, like, if the person I'm ignoring is having a fight with someone else, and I know that's going on when I ignore them, when I see the other person type in chat, I just imagine make up stuff for the person that I've ignored, just for entertainment value. It's hilarious. You guys have got a lot of new people in the last 2 months. I mean, a lot. Granted, swiped one, but you know, yeah, you guys have gotten a lot of new people in the last 2 months. Like, I noticed it in December. Somebody was on recruiting kick hard. Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that Zach's probably the only person that does recruit. I know it took me 3 weeks to get my alt into ITAN. I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Literally, 3 weeks.
Well, actually, that's good. I like that they're recruiting. Maybe we can get some nationalism back.
That's awesome. I think it's great. I got way more people to shoot at now. It's awesome.
I mean, you and I got our Itani standing to dislike, so we could fly through.
Yeah, because
Itani standing was just so we could fly through Itani space and blow up the Leviathan. We figured that ITAN would respond by trying to kill our gents. It hasn't happened yet, but we hope it will.
Keep taunting you. Like, I don't know what the problem is. It's just 2 tridents. I mean, come on. I seem to recall that, Ezra. I seem to recall hearing that. Because I'm a sneaky old bastard. That's how you didn't catch that. All right, so we're generally a scaling thing, and it's just a matter of at what point do we say, okay, you've had enough chances, you're done? You know, so that's kind of, but that's more of a, I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, security in this game is non-existent. I mean, like we're super hardcore with the one server, like the SWA server is even worse. I don't let nobody on the SWA server. Like you got to be in the guild for like a year before you get into the SWA Discord server because it's like
All right, I'm
mostly
fully
because
back.
I'm too lazy to sit there and administer stuff all the time. It's bad when he gets invited to them. But like for example, I know in the ITAN Discord that has access to all the guild chat and all the other channels that are not working in ITAN's best interest. So, yeah, I mean,
he's working
Discord,
on stuff.
Discord is Discord's a cool thing. You just got to be super careful about who you let in. You know, that's whoever's running the server, that's their. Like I was actually kicking so many people that Jack took away my my ability to ban people. I was like, who is this? I don't know who they are. Ban them. Okay.
That's on the public one server.
Yeah.
We have two servers.
That's a paddle.
I mean, in fairness, I have kicked Juan off of the first one server a couple of times for puns.
I mean, in all fairness, he was what 12 when playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. In all fairness, yes, he was 12 years old. So trying to get him to understand what we were doing was hella complicated. All right. So, what was the thing I was going to try and remember that I told you guys to remember for me because I'd forget?
I totally forgot, but that's because I'm getting old.
Damn it, Jim. Oh, moderation. Thanks, Denny. Yeah, that's so. Here's the next question I have, and this is just I want to know what you guys think. Do we need to have more guides that are in game consistently, or do you
Yes.
think this new reporting option will be enough? Because I think that's what Incarnate's going for. Is he wants to automate it rather than people having to do paperwork in essence.
I'd actually go with a mix of both. I think there should be more guides on, but at the same time, the reporting feature is quite useful for things they can't always see. So it also gives a time and a date stamp to figure out where and when, possibly why.
I do like how Whistler has been kind of moderating on the Discord. He just pays attention to the 100 chat, and someone goes over the line, he's like, "That's over the line."
Recently, but yeah, I mean the thing with in-game guides though is they're hard to find because I mean Whistler and Fraserlight and Nihilus, all three not biased.
Yeah.
So finding that amongst our player base is a difficult thing. And no, Pando, you don't want me as a guide because I would, for funsies, just ban you the second I got that power.
And then you would lose the power.
And then I would lose the power, but honestly, it would be worth it for the 5 seconds that I would have it. That, and I'd put a pterodon in my inventory. It does seem that way, Tenny. You are right. You are correct on that, Penny.
Right.
And like Whistler, I've noticed Whistler's been in game more like the last paying attention, either from Discord or actually like I've seen him pop up. I assume not even really playing, just watching chat and piping up, going, yeah, nope, that needs to stop now. And so I have noticed that a lot more.
It's a thankless job. I mean, they're volunteering and they have to deal with someone who might be having a bad day, and it might be a one-time thing, but they're gonna have to take a lot of flack. So,
yeah, no, and that's true. I mean, that's
Being a guide is a thankless job.
yeah. Like I get crap for being a moderator on the Discord server, and literally my only job there is to keep idiots from spamming it. Literally, that's all I can do is keep idiots from spamming. Yeah, no, you're right on that, Ezra, and that's I think I think there was a lot of discussion before that happened, because it was just Whistler and Phaserlight before that, and everybody's got a life. Nobody lives in this game.
Yeah.
Well, okay, a few people do, I'm sure, but the most of the rest of us don't. Now I forgot where I was going.
Hello.
Nihilus is here.
Hey.
Oh, I was just talking about you.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think there was a lot of discussion that happened before he was appointed. I don't, this is me guessing. I would assume, but I'm sure there was, I'm sure Phaserlight and Whistler both had input on whether or not that happened. I would think, being the only other two gods. So, yeah, it's hard for him to find somebody that can be neutral and do that job. So, while more guides would be cool, I think would kill stuff a lot faster. I don't think it's practical at this point with our player base.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Don't underestimate how much how much accountability is put on the guides. Also, it's not like whenever somebody's made into a guide, they can just go around, doing whatever they want all willy nilly.
Oh no.
That's something that'll Incarnate would shut it down pretty quickly. So I mean, it's like it's probably easier than you'd think to make new people into guides and then kind of hold them accountable if they misuse that that position.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean every time a guide runs a command, it sends a. I'm not sure if it sends a notification directly to Incarnate, but I mean it logs it. It's very easy for him to go back and see.
Wash a group of pterodons. You're not doing that.
Pretty much. I mean any command, even so much as to like, hey, why was this guy teleported here? It logs all that stuff. So it's not like moderators can just go around abusing whatever. The thing that's hard is to convince people they want to be a moderator, because like for me, I have about as few enemies as one could probably expect to have in this game. And whenever I was made into a guide, it's the accusations of like, hey, you were doing this, clearly you were using your guide powers. In actuality, it's not the case. So, it's convincing people like, hey, come put up with all this stuff that you're going to have to put up with. People just kind of have a sour outlook on having to do that.
Yeah, which I'm guessing probably is game as much, I would assume.
Well, whenever I
think that would be a motivator, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I can't say that it's not a factor, but I mean, it's not so bad, especially like, if the moderator would kind of keep it quiet that he is a moderator, that might actually get him less public flack. So, I'm always talking to people. So it got out pretty quickly that I was a moderator, or a guide.
That's
So
because you're like a chatty old lady to Quilting Bee, bro. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, that's why. So that got out pretty quick. But also, like, I also don't mind accusations, and like I'll address them directly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not so much of a problem for me. So it wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret because I wasn't really
Right.
I wasn't really worried about catching all the accusations.
Yeah. So that's I think more guides would be a good thing in addition to the reporting, just because that's like if you know the 5-0s around, you're going to be a little more on your game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to be honest, like don't underestimate what that like the feeling that you get whenever you become a guide either. Like you feel like you want to improve. I, I highly doubt that it'd be the case that people would become a guide if I could get into. Like that's not what kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Like that won't last long. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I would encourage more people to kind of volunteer themselves to be a guide. It's not as bad as it seems, and especially if there were more of us, like the old time players, the players that have been around long enough to kind of know what to expect and what's kind of have a good basis for judging what's overboard and what's not. You think that you do have a good sense of that. I would say just just volunteer yourself and if incarnate knows all of us, so if he thinks like, yeah, you know what, this person would make a good fit for this, he makes those decisions. So I would say I think people just don't have the confidence that, like, they don't think of themselves as like, yeah, I'm qualified to be a guide,
Don't
which there are more people qualified to be a guide than I would imagine most people would suspect.
Yeah. So that brings up another interesting point. Like, what how long should somebody have played the game? Do you think before they should be considered?
I don't know. I think if you've been around for like a good year, 2 years, 3 years, I mean, especially depending on your activity within the game and your involvement within the community, I don't think it's necessarily a hard time limit as much as just like what you kind of bring to the table. And I mean, ultimately, it's kind of in Cornet's discretion. What he thinks is it's such a subjective issue. You know what I mean?
Right. So, all right. Well, it's an interesting. It's cool to have that perspective because none of us know because
yeah.
we're not one of the ultra cool kids.
Well, that's the thing too. It's not like being a guy. It's not this like it. I know it probably seems like, and it really. I mean, it is. It is kind of an exclusive thing to be a part of, but also, it's not like we're some elite player that have been deemed worthy of, because it's not like that. It was like I was hosting a events like at weekly at the time, and it was convenient for me to have the abilities that guides have to kind of maintain the events. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah, and
That's very practical.
yeah, and I'm relatively active around the forums. So, and that's the thing. It's like all this stuff. Guides are just held accountable, man. It's not like we're just given these tools and just let into the wild. Yeah, I feel like I'm talking a lot. Sorry.
No, that's all
Yeah,
right.
that's
Fine.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen to my dumbass talk. Jeez.
I highly doubt that they want to listen to my dumbass talk any more than yours.
No, but you bring an interesting perspective that none of us know. That's kind of cool
Yeah,
to know.
yeah.
That those are, that there's those kind of, limits on that.
Yeah, no,
I've seen people go off on Whistler before in chat. I'm just like, whoa, bro, like you have no idea what you're doing.
yeah, no, and yeah, I guess that is a good point to bring up. Like, I kind of have an inside look on what it's like to be a guide, and I can't tell you how often what people's, but just based on my interpretation of people's comments, yeah, people really don't understand what all goes into being a guide. Like it's not at all what people think it is. Based on what most of the comments that I see, anyways. There's a lot more. It's not just limitations. Just not just that, but like I can't stress enough like the level of accountability that we're held to. It's not. Yeah, going around doing whatever.
Okay, so now about because I've gotten messages both ways. Do you guys have like a command where you can tell somebody to do something wrong and it just comes through as like guide number or whatever instead of your player name?
Yeah, we do have that, and to be honest, it's tough. Like for me, I'm pretty good friends with most people who play this game, so I've always just messaged people just directly, just regular slash message command, just kind of ask people to calm down. And anyways, I feel like my relationship with people, it's kind of it's more of
Did we lose you? Nihilus.
Maybe he's using Linux like me. And Pando, I think he changed his name of his den a while back.
Okay, well,
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so that's that's an interesting take that on do we need more guides thing?
Well, I mean, I think that was a good take, and definitely gave us a different perspective. So.
Oh, now everybody's typing. That's weird. I have so never seen several people are typing it right now. Okay, that's a fair point where the player base is at right now.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder how many this is my thing, and I've seen people talk about it in chat before, is how many people do we get that start playing this game that literally never leave the training sector or never get that far?
Yeah.
They see 100 chat even though they can't participate in it. So that kind of makes me wonder if more actual guides right now would then help us grow the player base to the point where we need that many, if not more, to help keep it under control.
That was a concern I had as well.
My bad, guys. I'm back.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that people were saying our player base isn't big enough that we really need more guides, but my point is the more guides we have now, maybe we can stop some of these kids that are quitting before they ever get out of the training sector. And that way the player base expands with enough guides rather than scrambling, that there's players.
Yeah, I don't I can't envision a scenario where it's like, oh my God, there's too many guides. That's a problem. Like I can't envision that scenario. Like maybe the only thing that there's in guilds and there's some like guild conflict that kind of bleeds out of role play, and then two guides are kind of on opposite ends of some super big. I think at that point somebody will have already abused their guide powers, and so to be clear who's in the I don't envision that being a problem. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's some drama that Incarnate's not looking. Maybe he's looking to avoid that, but I don't think it'd ever get to that. So I don't know. I don't see too many guides being an issue.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I would think it would be better because it'll only take a week before people figure out, oh, there's a guy that's constantly on, no matter what time of day,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
what time zone we're in, no matter where we play,
And here's
and
here's
they're
the thing.
cracking down.
And here's the thing, like in hindsight, hindsight's 2020, as they say. In hindsight, I really wish that I would have kept it quiet that I was a guide because, and I think that's kind of the way to do it moving forward. It's just like if they don't even know who's a guide. I'm saying that not because of like, yeah, I would deal with less shit if no one knew, not because of that, but I think I think I would be more effective as a guide if no one knew I was a guide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like an undercover cop car sitting behind them
Right.
while they're speeding through that 35 doing 80, and all of a sudden they
Yeah.
get pulled over.
Yeah, so I would say if people would like just kind of, I don't know if I don't know, I don't know how I've never like discussed it with Incarnate. I don't think he would necessarily mind if people feel like they're capable of being a guide. I mean, dude, just put in a support ticket, and it's ultimately it's his decision. And like I said, like if you've been around long enough, I'm sure he knows who you are. So like I'm sure he doesn't keep up with things on a day to day basis. But like I said, if you've been around long enough and you're part of the community, I'm sure he has an idea of who you are, and if he's okay with that being a thing that responsibility that he trusts you with. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to send in a support ticket at least. I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea though. I've never spoken to people becoming guides, so. Uh, but I would say it's probably worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be cool. Like Scott's just saying, like it's that doesn't mean it doesn't happen because most of us are in bed at that point. I know I am.
Yeah,
So
and yeah.
having someone in that time zone that it's on during when when the European player base is on playing, that would be I think would be super helpful.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody that plays a lot.
Oh wait. Ideally, for a community this size, I think you'd want a guide, at least one on at all times per day. So there's never a time where there is no guide on.
Yeah, see, Ezra, that would be that he'd have to rewrite a bunch of code to do it. Would be my guess. And I'm just assuming this, but I'm pretty sure they're like balls deep in this 2.0 universe thing, trying to get it done. So
Yeah, I do know like there's no like there's no like intermediate role currently. Yeah, it's kind of you're a guide or you're not a guide currently, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that would be beneficial to have an intermediate role versus just being a guide.
yeah, because I mean, it's not like he can't. It's like you said, he can see every command you send, so it's not like he can't go back and undo everything you did that he didn't agree with before he takes you out of the guide role.
Yeah, which I mean,
if somebody were to abuse it, that's what I'm saying.
Somebody could definitely go ham and start like just smashing commands and probably get a lot done, and it would be a big headache for him. So I get why he would avoid just trying to hand out guide responsibilities willy nilly, but I also don't think he would. If you're a longtime player, how much effort he would have to put into like vetting you out. Probably not a whole lot. He probably, there's probably um, some type of trend in his mind of, behavior.
Right, and the other thing is, I'm betting there's people that don't want to be that guy that I think would be great in it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and that's the type of people that I would say, I would highly recommend having been somebody that's gone through the whole process. I would highly recommend if you think that you would be good at it, or if you think that you could do that, but you don't want to be that guy, if you don't want to be kind of take on that reputation aspect of it, I would say just kind of keep it to yourself. Like I would say put in a support ticket, let Incarnate know that you feel like you're probably capable of doing that. And then if you do become a guide, I would highly suggest just kind of keeping it to yourself.
On the down low, as it were.
Yeah, it's a lot more effective. I think, and in hindsight, there is some added inconvenience to that if you don't you could forget to use a guide message command.
Right. Make that alias for that. Put it on a key so you don't ever do it.
Yeah.
What them fancy aliases and binds are for. People that are too lazy to push too many buttons. That would be me. Yeah, so I mean, that I would totally agree with that. Like I said, I can think of probably 3 people right now that I think would, be good at it, but I bet they won't just because, they're not comfortable with, having the authority, I bet.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that too. It's like, if here's the thing, if you feel like you would be capable of making a judgment call, like in any situation, I would say like volunteer, because at the end of the day, if there's something that you don't feel comfortable making a judgment call on, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like you just do nothing. In which case, it's the same situation if you're not a guide. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there are times where people are talking shit to each other, and I'm like, well, I don't necessarily think like I couldn't make a case as to why I corrected this to Incarnate, so I'm going to do nothing in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right,
those situations definitely have happened.
It's not blatantly over the line enough.
Right. So, but there have also been situations where it's like, oh yeah, this is fucking obvious. This can't be allowed to continue. And it was a good thing that I was online because I was able to stop it. So like some things, it's just obvious. And if we had more people that were guides, they could stop the obvious stuff. You know what I mean? And then the stuff that's more of like kind of a loose judgment call. Well,
you just send it up the pipe.
Yeah, maybe put in.
Pass the buck.
Maybe put in a ticket and say, hey, this person's doing this. Maybe not. Maybe it's kind of like a thing of like, hey, maybe this person was just having a bad day or something. I don't know. You can still make a judgment call.
Right.
But I definitely understand. I would understand the position of like not wanting to create more work for himself. Speaking about Incarnate, by making people guides and having to go and check what because you have to, like, he has to really be aware of what guides are doing, because we're basically speaking on his behalf.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly.
It's a risky position to be in for sure.
Hey, whoever brought the snacks, did you bring enough for everyone?
Of course I did. They're virtual chips. We're like over an hour now. I'm eating.
Oh, really, Teddy? Really? When was this? I mean, not that I don't doubt that it was occurring, but I just want to know what day it was in case if I was involved.
Yeah, I like what Pandorum set up there, though. Wash and T.S. Reckner as guides.
Dude, this game would explode if they made me a guide.
Well, you're one of those people that you just kind of like not say anything about it.
Well, yeah, but still, I would, yeah. As many typing errors as I have.
Teddy, there's one is in B8 right now shooting PvPing. So if that's considered being dicks, I don't know what you can. I don't know what you can say. I know that I just killed Scorched Lightning on my loader ult, so whatever.
Oh, is there combat going on and I'm missing out? Damn it, Jim. Okay, so I would wrong chat at the wrong time. just because it's I'm always doing like 10 things at once, even when I'm playing. So I always mistype chat shit. And the first time I did that, and then everybody would know, and they would lose their freaking minds. I mean, they lost their minds when they made me when Incarnate put me on the moderator thing for the Discord to keep the spam bots out. I mean, people lost their mind. I mean, that's literally all that and restart the relay. That's literally the only two things I do there. That's a very good point, Tenny. Very excellent point. You are very correct in that. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying, especially about if there were more actual guides on where someone could assist a new player if they were having a problem, in addition to keeping chat under control. I'm wondering if we could retain more people, if that was available, where they could just call out on 100, or a guide question channel that the guides monitored, or whatever, something that somebody that's qualified can answer their question, or say, hey, you need to do this mission and read all the directions carefully. It will explain it to you. I'm wondering if we had that kind of level of guide, if that would make a difference in maintaining player base.
Sorry about that.
Stop using my words, A-Dog.
Yeah, I got to cut out, fellas. I'll try to.
Right.
I try to
See
get
you,
back. See you.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be done soon, but thanks for stopping by. Totally appreciate it, dude.
All right, cool. Yeah, keep this going. I like this Fireside thing, man.
Yeah, good talking with you.
Later, guys.
See you
Later.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on if we had more guides. Maybe we'd have more obviously retained players than we do now. I mean, I'm sure there's like a plethora of noobs flying around ITAN right now that have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, just because that especially up there, just because it's so isolated.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's the hard knock to learn in this game. That's why I say when I started, Fammy, like Sabbath and YT, Address B11, were killing me on a multiple daily basis, dude. And finally they explained to me what was going on, and I'm just like, okay, I'm still not going to pay, but at least now I understand what's happening to me.
When we first met, I killed you a few times, but you kept on going. So
yeah, So yeah, I think that would be another benefit to having more guides. I mean, because we don't have players that just sit around and help people anymore. I mean, Ninja was literally the last dude I remember that, he was constantly helping people in channel 1,
yeah,
do this, do that, here's what you want to do to, as soon as they came out, like, here, here's some batteries, here's some guns, here's what you go do first. I mean, we just don't, nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, we should probably wrap this one up.
Okay. Yeah, Scotius, that's because we now have all this monitored nation space. It didn't used to be that way. You used to be able to roll through Dow and destroy anything you wanted. And that got changed. Because I'm pretty sure there was an excessive count of noob tickets complaining that they got killed right outside, L10 or L11 right outside the station and nothing happened. So that, yeah, it definitely doesn't seem combat centered when you first come in now because of all the capital system protections in place. And Lecter doesn't play anymore. He totally wouldn't care. He'd fly right through that.
Oh shit.
FYI, A-Dog is losing a fight right now.
Well, I accidentally killed my own guy.
Well, that's fair because I actually killed A-Dog as well. So we're just killing each other. And Tenny's killing me. So.
Oh, it's just golly there. I will totally end this and log in.
No, he's out there in the core vault. Oh, wait, who the heck's shooting at me? Oh, Scorch Living is.
1 sec. Oh, fuck. How do you get rid of this thing? So I swear a lot.
Yeah, that's okay. So do I. All right. Well, yeah, cool. I think we touched on some really good stuff. Maybe Incarn will take a listen to this, or maybe some of you guys will think of a suggestion to put into just some way that this stuff could be your ideas on how it could be done cooler or whatnot. Yeah. So thank everyone for coming out. Obviously this is the first time, so more voice chatters would be really cool in the future. Just saying.
That'd be awesome.
As I told Zach earlier, I am not doing role play on these things. So I kind of taken it away, and I just wanted it to be a natural, like, we're all gamers, we're all nerds, we're playing a space game. How can we make this better?
Yeah, so definitely, and if you've got friends that play other games but don't play Vendetta, when I put the link up, send it to them. This is the kind of stuff that could get people hooked. I mean, granted, we're not talking about a great subject right now, but down the road, whatever we come up with to talk about, generate interest to get more people to come play it. Especially if we have these kind of things. That's kind of what this is for, to get a little more community engagement going. In some format, and hopefully it helps make changes in the game, and getting more people to come play the game. Who knows? Or we could just get a sponsorship from some laundry detergent company that says, "Yeah, please stop making these, and we'll pay you." One of the two.
Hey guys, remember to clean your clothes. This time use
Exactly.
DeVry or detergent or whatever.
DeVry.
All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for coming out. We're gonna go ahead and put this one to bed, and we'll see you guys in game.